All right. So, welcome to Wrestling Still Cool podcast. This is KM, and that is Mark.
Hey, y'all.
All right. So, in this episode, we got a pay per view this Sunday with WWE Clash of Champions Gold Rush. It looks like it's going to be a dual promotion, dual brand, whatever you want to call it. Pay per view here where we have champions competing in matches from both Raw and SmackDown. They also are doing TakeOver on Saturday, which looks to be called TakeOver 31, but there's only 3 matches on that card, so there's really nothing much to discuss there. Clash of Champions has a little bit more of a deeper card going on. And it looks like, from what I can tell, all except for, unless they retired the United States title, it looks like all the titles are up for grabs on this Sunday.
The United States title is going to be on the line.
Who has it?
Bobby Lashley.
That's right. Okay, this is my fault because of the design. I am not liking the design, and I keep forgetting that he is carrying the WWE United States title.
Yeah, that new design for US title. I'm not a big fan of that one either, honestly.
So, kind of off topic, but the 2 redesigns that they did that look absolutely terrible are the Intercontinental title and the United States title. What were they? It's like, what were they thinking?
That Intercontinental title looks just fine the way it was, but I know they want to evolve and just change it up. Like, it looks great the way it is. I mean, it's one of the oldest titles in wrestling history.
And the thing that kills me, and it seems like it's very spiteful from WWE, which it could be or could not be. It's kind of weird that they decided to change the Intercontinental title when AEW went on the air. And the only thing, and there was a commonality that Cody Rhodes reintroduced the white strap.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It seems like it was a little petty on WWE's part, but be that as it may. So, do you want to start? How do you want to start? Do you want to start with the top titles first, or do you want to start with the tag titles first?
Tag title, that's fine.
All right, so we got Cesaro and Nakamura versus Lucha House Party. From what I could tell on the card, I couldn't see who all is actually tagging, whether it's Lince Dorado, Kalisto, or Grand Metalik. But either way, it's Lucha House Party versus Nakamura and Cesaro. Who do you have for that?
I'm glad you said that because I wouldn't have been able to pronounce that. His last name. I am not good at the Japanese names at all. I'll be the first one to say that. But
dude, those are Spanish.
Oh, what I say?
Lucha House Party?
Yeah,
those are Spanish. You said Japanese, which is Nakamura.
I'm sorry. I'm in Spanish. All right. No, I have not drank tonight at all. I'm sober. My bad. With Japanese too, I have a hard time with those too. But anyways, I see Cesaro and Shinsuke going to retain. I believe that's going to be the bigger hand.
Okay, so I actually took Lucha House Party on that one, and the reason I took Lucha House Party on that one is in the last few matches that they've had, they kind of came out on top, and I could be wrong. But it's kind of looking like they want to position Lucha House Party as a draw, which is fine. I don't think Cesaro and Nakamura are going to split up as a tag team, but I think they might walk away with the titles this time, and then they'll probably end up giving it back come January at Royal Rumble. So, all right, you took Cesaro and Nakamura. I took Lucha House Party.
I just think Cesaro and Shinsuke are still on a bigger push, and they're still going to retain for a while. And I think there's going to be more of a bigger outcome and time to come with their titles. But that's just my thought. But all right,
yeah, I could see that. It's not like I'm dead set that Lucha House Party is going to win. I think it's like a 60-40 chance.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it'll still be a good match.
Oh yeah, I believe so, especially with the work rate that Cesaro and Nakamura have, and of course you have the Lucha House Party, which will fly around everywhere.
Yeah.
The other tag title match we have is Street Profits versus the men's, I should classify. Street Profits versus Andrade and Garza. Who'd you take with this one?
Honestly, I'll tell you one thing. That's a toss-up for me because now since the Street Profits, if I can talk right, they've been hanging on for a while. They've had a good run, but I see the now change in Andrade and Garza this past week. And I think that this could be their moment to have a bigger push. So since they don't have their manager anymore, so I think I'm going to say it's a toss-up. I can't even pick a winner if I had to. But if you're going to force them to, I would say Andrade and Garza.
Okay. So I have mixed feelings about it, kind of like you. Andrade and Garza, Las Vegas. Vega is actually going to be in a match later in the night or earlier in the night, however WWE sets this all up with Asuka. And the Street Profits are a dead cell. They're a good character to follow. Kind of like Shinsuke and Nakamura. Andrade and Garza have a good possibility of winning it, and it'd be one of those things where kind of prove their worth, if you will, for Vega. I took the opposite of you. I took Street Profits. I just don't think now's the time for the Profits to drop the belts. Yeah. I do think if Garza and Andrade lose, I think it's going to be a continuous build that I think will lead into Royal Rumble. Well, maybe not even Royal Rumble. This actually might just lead into Survivor Series. Yeah. And would be in position them to actually win it there. All right, we are completely split on the tag team matches.
Hey, good question for you. Now, don't laugh. It's the same thing with the listeners. Okay, their catchphrase. They say, "We want the smoke." Is that what it is?
Profits.
Yeah,
Street Profits.
Yeah,
it might be. I don't remember hearing it. So
they always say we want the smoke. I don't know what the hell is that. They're trying to say something of a reference. I don't know, but I keep on hearing that. Unless someone wants to comment on this, maybe I'm not understanding it or just grasping what they're trying to say. But I don't understand what that phrase even really means. They want the smoke. Does that mean something else? I don't know.
I'm not sure. I haven't heard it myself.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's keep on moving then.
All right. So the women's tag title matches are Baszler and Jax versus the Riot Squad. Who do you have for that one?
Oh yeah, definitely gonna be Jax and Baszler.
Yeah. I am gonna have to go the same on that one. I think they're gonna keep up Jax and Baszler as the strange bedfellows.
They're a very powerful team. I think they're going to have a long run.
Yeah, I kind of think so as well. It's a weird feeling because I think this is going to kind of bleed into what we're going to talk about in the regular show, or what we talked about, depending on which one goes up first. With the build between Bayley and Sasha, I think this if they do win and keep the tag titles, I think this is going to go for a while until it implodes against each other. And it's weird because Baszler is really, really good talent. I'm not a fan of Baszler, but I appreciated her work in NXT. She is a dependable worker, and it just felt like WWE didn't have any idea what to do with her for a while besides breaking some of the arms, like with Sarah Logan and things like that. And now they paired her up with Nia Jax, which honestly she should be facing Nia Jax and basically putting Nia Jax down. And here we are, they're tag teaming.
Yeah, they're like, if you want to compare, you have two big guys, strong guys in the ring that overpower so much, and I've seen, it's like they're just kicking ass. That's just, it's like they're taking turns of whipping ass, and it's like they're on a big push. I feel it's going to be a long run. I don't know how long, but it's going to be a good lengthy run, I believe, for their tag title run. Something about Shayna Baszler, I don't know, in a rugged kind of way. She's kind of cute a little bit.
Well, and for me, Shayna Baszler should be positioned to go against Ronda Rousey when Ronda Rousey comes back, because I think that would be a good setup.
Oh, yeah.
and they would definitely play up to the fact that they both were UFC fighters and things like that. And I think Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're the four horsewomen of UFC, part of the four horsewomen of UFC.
I think so.
And how they didn't make that match happen, WWE being, were the four horsewomen of UFC and the four horsewomen of WWE, which, Charlotte, Bayley, Becky, and Sasha. How they did not let that happen at like Survivor Series or something is beyond me.
I think they were talking about that a while back. I don't know why it didn't come to fruition, but I think they're talking about that a while back, and I think they're talking about that for Survivor Series, or he was even talking about for even a WrestleMania, if I'm not mistaken. But that would have been a good match. But it never, who knows? In time, it may happen, But I don't know really anything about UFC, but I've heard about them being the four horsemen. Someone in there.
Yeah. All right, so moving on up the card, we have Lashley versus Apollo Crews for the U.S. title, the worst-looking U.S. title that we've ever had. Maybe second worst. John Cena's was not that great.
I have to say, well, it's a hard pick.
So who do you have for that?
I'm gonna have to probably go with the upper hand, and because the storyline reason's probably going to be going with Lashley.
I actually picked somebody else. I picked Apollo.
Oh, okay.
I think storyline-wise, it would be more interesting if Apollo gets a quick pin and takes the title from Lashley.
That could be a payback for the Cedric for trading sides.
I'm not convinced that. Okay, this is gonna get into more of the storyline thing. I'm not convinced that Cedric's completely bought into the Hurt Business.
You don't think so?
No, it's weird because I could see it working both ways. Where he would be a part of the group, and it's not a bad thing for him to be part of the group. MVP is doing a lot with those guys. Give him a lot of credit. On the flip side of that, I could see it being a good storyline where he was kind of like the Orton of the Wyatt family, where he's just kind of hanging out there and is going to screw them over in the end. So it's a weird pick, but I'm not completely sold on Cedric in the Hurt Business yet. We'll see.
Their first night, his first night in that group, I was kind of iffy on it if it was going to be just a setup, but the more they went with it, I'm like, what Cedric has said and sold on it. I feel sold that he's part of that group permanently. But
I could be wrong. It's just one of those things where
that's your that's your viewpoint, and that's absolutely. I just it's a good move for Cedric, but he also he needs to look more powerful too, look more of a fighter. Hopefully he'll evolve more into that.
Yeah. It's interesting what they're going to do with him. I can see Cedric doing a lot of different things, and he is definitely a talented guy. So is Apollo. So are all those guys actually. But I think for storyline, I think it would be more interesting if Apollo wins to draw the ear of the Hurt Business. And I think if he does win, then I think that will move Bobby up to he's on Raw, so he would be probably Drew's next opponent, or whoever comes out on top between Drew and Randy Orton. I think he'd be the next opponent up there. Which honestly, seeing Drew versus Bobby Lashley, like a beast Bobby Lashley, would not be bad.
Yeah,
it's finally the Hurt Business has allowed Bobby Lashley to be the monster he should have been all along. And luckily, we haven't seen his sisters back. The next one, speaking of the sisters, the next one is the Intercontinental Ladder match. We have the Fraud, Jeff Hardy, against AJ versus the real Intercontinental Champion, Sami Zayn.
Story, actually, I've been drawn to it. I think Sami's character, his persona, and his mic work's gotten even better, in my opinion. It's a very interesting thing. Way they're developing the story, I think, and I'm looking forward to this ladder match. I wonder if Sami's going to trick his way into winning somehow, but He looks even worse though than he did before.